Armor made to fit.
The end is coming!
Hey there everyone, sorry about that, but welcome here with the Hearthstone Southeast Asia Legends number 9. My name is Spellruler. I'm going to be casting this entire thing for today. So this is the first round action, best of 5 between WaningMoon and He Is Not Axel. WaningMoon playing Warrior, Axel playing Mage here. So let's take a quick look at the cards they have right here after first couple of turns played. They're Unstable Ghoul, Acolyte of Pain, Battle Rage, Inner Rage, Frothing Berserker, and Whirlwind for WaningMoon, and He's Not Axel with Blood Mage, Balance, Acolyte of Pain, Blizzard, Fireball, and Ice Barrier. So it looks like He's Not Axel is going to play like the standard Frost Mage. I'm not too sure what WaningMoon is planning with the cards in his hand. Can't really make a solid decision here yet. So I'm actually kind of interested in how this matchup is going to go, because both of these classes like to stall, especially with Frost Mage now being a thing. He's Not Axel probably wanting to get into his deck pretty deep so he can get his Fireball cards, his Pyroblast, all those cards. So with an Ice Block now being drawn, pretty happy about that. But WaningMoon, playing Warrior, he can stall out pretty well as well with his Armor Up cards, but I haven't seen any shield blocks or anything like that, so I can't really make anything out of WaningMoon's deck at the time. So as far as the other classes that both players have, take Warlock and Hunter for WaningMoon, and He Is Not Axel. Let me take a quick look. Is playing Warlock and Shaman as his other two classes. So this is a best of 5, and we're playing Conquest mode. So it's not that you have to switch class once you lose. So double Acolyte of Pain out on the field, both players having already drawn a card from it. Another Acolyte of Pain coming up from He's Not Axel. Looks like WaningMoon is just going to attack straight into that one, not wanting to give Axel another card, or another 2 cards from that one. There's the Pyroblast coming in for Axel, so that's a solid 10 damage coming in once turn 10 hits. Ice Barrier will pop, giving He's Not Axel 8 armor. That is going to be chunked down to 1 because of that Frothing Berserker out on the field. And He's Not Axel drawing into that Archmage Antonidas, so no low mana spells out yet, but He's Not Axel also has the Alexstrasza out in his hand, so WaningMoon can stall all he wants with the armor, but it doesn't really matter because Axel can burn down WaningMoon's hit points to 15 with the Alexstrasza card. So WaningMoon trying to set up his offensive plays here. Has the Frothing Berserker whenever minion takes damage, gain +1 attack. So that counts for both sides of the field. So Axel actually has to be a little bit careful that he doesn't put out too much on the field, because WaningMoon can trigger his Death Rattle effect, which will make that Frothing Berserker a whole lot stronger for the next turn. But Axel is considering what he's going to do on here, so he's going to drop the Acolyte here and use the Fireblast on. So he is going to make that Frothing Berserker a little bit stronger still, but is going to draw a card from it. Mad Scientist, the card that is picked up. Now, Grim Patron, one of the new cards. Whenever this minion survives damage, summon another Grim Patron. So WaningMoon can actually drop this, attack with the Death Spite, trigger its Death Rattle effect, get a card from it. Of course, he will give a card to He's Not Axel, but that Frothing Berserker will grow a lot stronger because of it. I think the total will be that he will be sitting at 11-4 if I'm not mistaken, unless he drops the Cruel Taskmaster. And the Battle Rage to follow up with that one. Draw 1 card for each damage from the character, so that's going to be 3 cards in total. Warsong Commander, Execute, and another Frothing Berserker is going to give Axel another card, Emperor Thaurissan. So Axel gaining the maximum amount of cards that he can draw from an Acolyte of Pain, but look at that Frothing Berserker, 12 and 3 now, and the Death Rattle effect triggering as well, killing off that Acolyte of Pain. But Axel now has a full house in his hand. Ice Barrier, Emperor Forson, Mad Scientist, Archmage Antonidas. But actually, Axel's hand is too full right now, as he was forced to discard the Mad Scientist that he just drew, and with 7 mana, Blizzard, his only realistic option, will clear out the field completely, but no defenses here. And now Waning Moon only has to do 11 damage. I'm just looking at how he can do that. So Warsong Commander, Frothing Berserker might be an option here, or Waning Moon can just start to hammer on Axel with Waning can just start to hammer with his weapons here, but Axel does have a couple of ways to stall out. Can give himself another 8 armor, can survive a turn with the ice block, but Axel is in a little bit of trouble because he hasn't hit that 10 mana benchmark just yet to have his Archmage Antonidas be really useful. Alexstrasza can't be played as well because he needs the 9 mana for that one. So Waning Moon can just sit on his 29 health pretty comfortably and just start hitting Axel, forcing him into a more defensive position here, as you just saw that he was forced to use the Blizzard to clear out the entire field. Waning Moon, as expected, is just going to hit with the weapons. I'm not too sure if he's going to drop the Warsong Commander or anything like that. No, it's just going to armor up. So next turn, Waning Moon can actually Warsong Commander, Frothing Berserker, and use the Inner Rage on it. So it will bump itself up to a 5 attack minion. And Axel has to play that Ice Block this turn, which of course does mean that he only has 5 more mana to play around with if he does so. So Ice Block followed up with Ice Barrier, so that's going to be a total of 13 health to deal with effectively, or 15, excuse me. But Waning Moon has like a good amount of minions in his hand, good amount of cards, so he can actually whittle down Axel to like the lowest amount of health possible before that Ice Block is actually going to trigger. So if Waning Moon plays this out properly, like he knows he is playing against Frost Mage, or a variation of it, so he probably knows what those secrets are regardless of what he does not know. So Warsong Commander being dropped for the first one. Grim Patron now as well, so it looks like Waning Moon is just going to fill out the board as much as possible. Grim Patron is going to summon another Grim Patron, so now has a 5-2, a 3-3 on the board, which both have charge because of that Warsong Commander, of course. Death Rattle effect will trigger, and another Grim Patron joins the field. And Waning Moon now with 4 Grim Patrons on the field is going to take it slow, going to hit for another 3 damage. It's going to trigger the Ice Block though, so that is going to make sure that Axel is going to survive for another turn. But with the card drawn, the Ice Lance, it's not going to help too much. Even Archmage Antonidas can't save him now. And I don't think that Axel has any way out of this barrage of Grim Patrons out on the field. Such a good combo, I can see it now. The Warsong Commander with the Grim Patrons. It's kind of a fresh take on Warrior. Like the previous Warriors were mostly stalling out with Sludge Belchers and Shield Blocks and stuff like that. But I really like this offensive build of Warrior where it's a lot faster paced and you can flood the board more effectively.
I wonder.
So looking at it, Axel drawing desperately in his deck, looking for the Arcane Intellect here, but I'm not sure if there's anything useful in it. Frostbolt for 2 mana and a Blizzard, so it might prove useful. But then again, Waning Moon does have a Fiery War Axe in his hand, so even if Axel does play the Blizzard, which he is kind of forced to at this point, to maybe stall out a little bit. It doesn't even matter too much because WaningMoon will just equip that Fiery War Axe for the next turn.
Everyone, get in here.
And even more Grim Patrons join the field, and they all gain charge as well, but doesn't even matter. WaningMoon equipping the Fiery War Axe, going for the kill. WaningMoon winning the first game of this best of 5. So congratulations to WaningMoon winning the first game of this best of 5. We're gonna set up game 2 for you as fast as possible. In the meantime, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with game 2 between WaningMoon and Heisnotaxel. Hey there everyone, welcome back to the Hearthstone Southeast Asia Legends number 9. This is the round of 32 between WaningMoon and Heisnotaxel. WaningMoon winning a game 1 of this best of 5 switched up class. So WaningMoon now playing Hunter, Heisnotaxel playing Mage here. So let's see what they both have. Heisnotaxel with a Doomsayer, double Arcane Intellect, Archfiend Antonidas, and a Frost Nova. So Heisnotaxel playing the more traditional Mage as rather than the previous variation we saw. WaningMoon now playing Hunter, has the Mad Scientist out, Knife Juggler, Animal Companion, Wolf Rider, and another Knife Juggler. So I'm kind of interested to see how this matchup will go between the two of them. Heisnotaxel drawing into another Doomsayer, so hasn't really drawn his stall cards just yet except for Frost Nova. So Doomsayer being dropped, and I guess Heisnotaxel is dropping that preventively, making sure that WaningMoon will not play any minions this turn because of the Death Rattle effect. And I guess that's warranted because WaningMoon now was forced to use the Steady Shot rather than use the Knife Juggler, which I would imagine he would prefer to have out on the field so he can get some damage in. So now it's going to drop double Knife Juggler on the field. So 1 damage landing on Heisnotaxel, but Axel does not really have anything to take care of those double Knife Jugglers except dropping a Doomsayer maybe, but then again there's always the risk that one of those daggers will land into the Doomsayer, and then WaningMoon can just attack with the Knife Jugglers, killing it off straight. So WaningMoon now free to do a whole bunch of damage. So Leok now being summoned. Other minions have other friendly minions have +1 attack, so that's going to be 4 damage, another 4, and 4 from the daggers, landing for a 12 damage hit onto Axel, who has drawn into another Mad Scientist. So pretty much is forced to play Frost Nova Doomsayer at this point. Otherwise, he is going to be in a really bad position. There's no other way that Axel can get out of this one without playing like Frost Nova Doomsayer. Arcane Intellect not going to be useful now. and other cards also not going to be too useful. Blizzard can't even be played at this point. He might be saving that for next turn, I guess.
I'll show them. I'll show them.
But it's going to play a Scientist instead, so Waning Moon can now bring out that Wolf Rider, 2 of them actually, for 6 damage, and a lot of daggers landing as well. So 1 in the Mad Scientist, 2nd landing into the Mad Scientist, so that secret Ice Barrier is going to be put into play here, and is going to trigger as well, so 8 armor being gained here by Axel. So steady shot for another 2 damage. So now Axel sitting at a mere 15 health in total. Waning Moon is still sitting at 30, and Axel pretty much has to play that Blizzard now to clear out the field, but he will take 2 damage from the Leper Gnome, and of course the 2 Haunted Creepers are going to spawn as well. And there's another Wolf Rider and Animal Companion here. So Axel has the answer, and it still has the potential to turn this around, I feel, because Waning Moon does not have a lot of cards in his hand as opposed to Axel, who can actually draw a little bit deeper into his deck with the Arcane Intellect. And he can generate cards with Archmage Antonidas as well, so like Axel will be gaining a little bit more card advantage over Waning Moon as far as the hand goes. But other than that, Waning Moon has, of course, the potential to do consistent damage with that steady shot, so Axel is going to be pressured for that one as well. I'm not too sure if Axel does play Alexstrasza. I would imagine he does. So 2 damage landing, breaking the armor of He Is Not Axel. Arcane Golem now being drawn by him, but I'm not too sure if he actually wants to play that one right now, considering that giving a Mana Crystal, like at this point in the game versus Mage, not the most helpful thing, but is actually just going to risk it, as he does feel that he can finish it off straight up right now. So is going to land with the 4, is going to land with the 2, and that secret is going to trigger, and Axel Ice Block is popped and now has to draw into another Ice Block, or else he is going to straight up lose. But I don't think that even Ice Block is going to help him out unless he draws into an Alexstrasza next turn, because that steady shot is going to finish off Axel the next turn regardless of what he does, unless he gets to draw into another Ice Block with that Arcane Intellect. But chances are slim, but still 15 cards, there is a chance. So Arcane Intellect is used, Acolyte of Pain, and the second card being a Frostbolt, and that is it. Axel with no way out of losing next turn. Cannot do anything, knows that he's going to get hit with a steady shot next turn. Best thing he can do is just play the Doomsayer and go out with a bang, I guess. Or he could just concede, not revealing any more cards that he is playing. So Axel taking his time, trying to rack his brain, figure out, is there a magical way out of this one? Is there some combo I have overseen? But no, Axel conceding. Waning Moon now with a 2-0 lead in this best of 5. So congratulations to Waning Moon, 2-0 up in this BO5. We're going to set up game 3 for you in just a second. In the meantime, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with game 3 between Waning Moon and He's Not Axel.
horses, Gul'dan!
Your soul shall be mine! Your soul shall suffer!
Hey there, welcome back everyone. This is game 3 between WaningMoon and He Is Not Axel. So both players playing Warlock now. WaningMoon on match point right now. So if he wins this one, he will move on towards the round of 16. Warlock versus Warlock. Let's take a quick look at the hands here. Twilight Drake, Big Game Hunter, Defender of Argus, Molten Giant, Decoying, Mortal Coil, Mountain Giant, and Siphon Soul for WaningMoon, and Hellfire, Ironbeak Owl, Ancient Watcher, Sludge Belcher, Mountain Giant, Sludge Belcher, and Emperor Coruscant, plus a Zombie Chow for He Is Not Axel. Twilight Drake being played here by WaningMoon pretty early on. Could be a little bit stronger, but I guess WaningMoon just wanted to have something out on the field, if anything. But He Is Not Axel now with a full hand here. Can drop that Mountain Giant for a relatively low cost, but Big Game Hunter is going to snipe it down, so WaningMoon not caring too much about that. That, of course, does mean now one of the Big Game Hunters for WaningMoon is down, and if He Is Not Axel has any other Giants in his hand, it'll be a little bit easier to play them knowing that there won't be something to snipe it down instantly next turn. Now, Ironbeak Owl if he is going to silence the Twilight Drake for that, I'm not too sure if it's actually worth it to use it on the Drake. Like I would imagine you would probably want to use it on a Sludge Belcher or something that's a little bit more of a threat, like and taunted up Ancient Watcher, but I guess that he's Axel saw the value in that Ironbeak Owl silencing that Twilight Drake, but of course it is still a 4-1, so it can still do the 4 damage, and it can hit Axel pretty hard, so Axel can be dropped to about 14 if WaningMoon does decide to go for the direct attack. Mortal Coil to draw a card first, of course. Here's the Ironbeak Owl for WaningMoon. Defender of Argus is going to be dropped, so that's going to be 5 damage landing into the Zombie Chow, and 5 damage landing into Axel, who is now dropped to 17. Does Axel have a Sunfury Protector in his hand? Yes, he does, so he can give that Ancient Watcher a taunt. I'm kind of thinking that Axel has to play the Hellfire at this point, or the Sludge Belcher. But then again, WaningMoon does have an Ironbeak Owl, so let's say Axel does decide to play the Sludge Belcher. WaningMoon does have 12 damage, like flat out on the field, and has a Dark Bomb as well, so he can drop Axel to 15. So if Axel actually does decide to tap, then he will be in lethal range if he does not play the Hellfire. If he taps and plays Sunfury Protector, then Axel will just straight up lose because of the 15 damage that is available in WaningMoon's field and hand. So is actually going to tap. What is he going to draw with it? A Molten Giant. So if Axel is going to bring out the Sunfury Protector, then he will straight up lose, but is going to play the Hellfire instead. So drop to 12. Did not want to take the risk there. WaningMoon drawing into Lord Jaraxxus is tapping and plays out the Mountain Giant. So now pressure is on Axel here, who is only sitting at 12 health at this point. No anti-heal bots in his hand as well. WaningMoon does have his though. Sitting at 7 mana, Axel can put up a pretty good defensive board here with a potential Sludge Belcher Sunfury Protector play, but does decide to tap and gets a Watcher for his trouble. So Axel can set up a bigger defensive board by playing the Watcher he has just drawn and then following it up with the Sunfury Protector. And WaningMoon has to go through double taunt at that point. Of course, WaningMoon doesn't have anything to directly take care of that unless he Dark Bombs the Ancient Watcher and then silences the other. But I doubt that he would do that. Or, he could siphon the soul of one of the two as well, but Axel is running out of time. Looks like he is going to go for that Watcher play as he is hovering over it. So Ancient Watcher is played, Sunfury Protector is dropped as well. Molten Giant now dropping as well. So now back to WaningMoon, who has drawn into the Hellfire. So is going to play that one just outright, and then the Dark Bomb to finish off the Ancient Watcher, and now the field is all open. WaningMoon with the attack is going to win with a 3-0 sweep, moving on towards the round of 16. So congratulations to WaningMoon winning a 3-0 sweep here.